I swear to you, this is not bait. This is not clickbait. This is actually real. This is a real scene. Like, this is actually in the latest episode of 100 Girlfriends. And I want to take a few moments to talk about this scene, but honestly, just the overall vibe of what 100 Girlfriends really is offering, and just how good of a story it is, to how it's a good parody of the genre, to just how, some might consider this instantly trash, but really just take it for just, out of context scenes and not truly understand what makes this show so good. So yeah, this scene in particular is actually legit. We have our two main female characters. Obviously, there's technically going to be 100 main female characters, but our two first main female characters, they straight up, they kiss. Yeah, you can see it right here. This is literally in the episode. And this is actually not Yuri bait. Actually, what this scene straight up says is that they legitimately are in love. And let's give some context here. So basically, as we saw from the early portions of 100 Girlfriends episode 1 and 2, the two female characters basically, were fighting for the love of our MC, Rentaro. Kind of find out, they obviously had to be in a poly relationship. They had to have more in the relationship, because if Rentaro only picked one, everybody else would literally end up alone, sad, and die alone, so to speak. So he didn't want that. And obviously, to kind of get over the whole first kiss, technically all three of them kissed at once. And ever since then, it's been very clear that those two characters have a bond with each other. And so when you see this scene of them kissing, it's kind of showcasing that it's not just Rintaro that they're into, they're also into each other. And this is a very consistent thing. Like, I want to be completely blunt here. I'm not caught up with the manga, but I have read a little bit, and I am very well aware that this is a theme that continues, that it's very clear that they do like each other. And so when you see the added extra attention to detail that's for this scene, it's legitimately hilarious. Like, this is actually a hilarious scene of these two characters just straight up kissing, because it's not every day you actually see Yuri bait actually turn into full-blown Yuri. It's just like, let's be honest here, it's just low-hanging fruit. Like, there's so many, like, anime and manga and light novels that will have characters being implied that they're Yuri, like they have like a relationship, but it never goes anywhere. It's just there to be Yuri bait to have BD Blu-ray sales. But this straight up is, and it's just like, oh my goodness, thank you. And it makes sense too, from a realistic perspective. Since Rentaro is basically building himself a harem of 100 girlfriends, it's very clear there's going to be maybe some interest with these characters with other female characters. It makes perfect sense. It does. It would, especially if you're in that type of relationship. So, seeing this, it's just like, yeah, it's hilarious, it's funny, but it's nice to actually see progression. It's nice to actually see a series have the cojones, the balls, to actually do something like this, instead of it just being straight up bait. I appreciate that, which is a perfect segue to talk about 100 Girlfriends in its entirety. So there has been a lot of, like, let's say, out-of-context stuff. Like, if we go to last week's episode, or the overall, like, swimsuit episode, there's been some out-of-context scenes that are very fan service heavy. People could just straight up assume it's from a H-tie or something. That's literally what it looks like. But in reality, a lot of what this series is, it's very well aware of what it's doing. Like, it's aware that it's in a harem rom-com setting. It's aware of that. The series is completely self-aware, but it's using themes that normally just, are used to extend the plot, and it's just saying we don't need to do that. And why is that? Why does 100 Girlfriends not need to use cliches and extend the plot artificially? Well, there's 100 Girlfriends. The story is just straight up with you. It tells you what it is. Rentaro is literally on a conquest to make 100 different people happy. And so it's not going to be, a character that's going to be going back and forth between, character A, character B. He's already dead set on what he wants since the very first episode. The story doesn't need to lengthen its plot and create useless drama that serves no purpose. Obviously, there will be drama within this story, but it doesn't need to create useless drama that is artificial, because technically, he's already picked everyone. He's not going to just pick one, and they all know this. Anyone that's going to be with him is going to be aware of this. So it's nice that the story is aware of what it is, and it can go from the next plot point to the next plot point without worry of trying to drag it out for 300 chapters. That is not what 100 Girlfriends is. Even if it reaches that many chapters, it's not because it's dragging it out. It's introducing all of the characters and the relationship between all the characters, and it feels very immersive, honestly. Obviously, the situation with Tarzan's not realistic, but, I mean, it feels immersive that the story is actually having progression, and it doesn't feel like it's going at a snail's pace with nothing going on. I love it when series respect my time, and I think anyone can agree with that. Anyone that has read romance, read a harem, read a fan service, read anything, okay, of this type of nature, knows that most manga that definitely get popular, or anime, they waste your time. They do. They straight up waste your time. It's like filler chapter after filler chapter. It goes nowhere. But 100 Girlfriends is not like that. It's not wasting your time. You have literally every female character getting a scene. Like, you literally have them all just love addicted and all that. It's legitimately just straight up funny. And I actually love this scene. Where he puts her on the rack. Like, it's... Oh my goodness, this is such a funny scene. Like, every time I saw this scene in the manga, it's just so funny. It's too good, man. But, like, you even have, like, references, obscure horror references and stuff like this. I love this, by the way. Absolutely incredible scenes that were added. Like, there was a lot of additional scenes that was not in the manga that was added into this. That adds just so much more life to this anime, and they've been doing that a lot. The animators clearly love this series. They're doing everything they can, because I think it must be fun to work on a show that isn't trying to just play around. Like, it's not like just trying to be artificial. It's trying to be what it is. It's straight up, and it tells you what it is. And I think that anyone that goes in with this with an open mind and has understanding of, like, these type of stories will enjoy this a lot. I wouldn't say it, but this is the closest comparison I can make. 100 Girlfriends is the Gintama of the rom-com harem stories. That's my 2 cents. Obviously, that is kind of... It's not exactly accurate, but that is the one thing that comes to mind. That's what I view this as, is that if you have read or watched a bunch of these type of stories, you will appreciate 100 Girlfriends a lot more because of it. But I'm going to leave it at that. I want to talk about this. I felt like 100 Girlfriends has literally just been popping off. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it, and I know everybody's excited for JJK and all that type of stuff, but gonna be honest with you, 100 Girlfriends and Frieren have just been banger after banger episode, honestly carrying this season. JJK's been great. Not putting it down. Love it. But as someone that's a big fan of slice of life and romance, I love this. I'll leave it at that, though. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Stay healthy, everyone. Chibi out.